The morning coffee break, sponsored by Costa Coffee, available locally in Grantham and at Riverside, Sleaford.
I now have the great pleasure to be able to introduce to you all George Moore from Costa. Good morning.
Good morning.
George, when did you get into working for Costa?
Well, I originally started on a Saturday job at Ryman's, and every morning I used to pick up coffee on the way to go, pick up one at my lunchtime, and then pick up one on the way home. So I first of all originally started drinking copious amounts of it and just drinking it, and I loved it. And I would often go into Costa on days off and bits and bobs and realise that it was a nice atmosphere, the job seemed to go well, and I loved coffee. So it just started off with the fact that I liked it, handed my CV in, and started from there, really. You're
actually at the Sleaford branch, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm at Sleaford branch. I originally started off in Boston. Started off as a general Sunday guy, just doing 6 hours a week, like I say, making the odd coffees and, like I say, cleaning up, and just 1 day a week, because I then continued with my studies. And then eventually I was going to decide to go to university. However, in the end I decided not to, and just carried on progressing within the company.
Both stores this last Saturday had a taster day, didn't they?
Yes, they did. We had super sampling Saturday.
How did the Sleaford one go?
Sleaford went really, really well. We had Gravity FM, Vic and Lynn came down and provided us some music for the day. We had lots of sampling, we got lots of guys out, we set up a separate station outside as well. So all the sampling went round Sleaford area. We went to some of the local stores that we deal with, like the bank, registered stores that are with us and bits and bobs, and just carried on going around and sampling to all customers and catching people during the street, and that was it.
Yeah, because Grantham, I know, did the same, because I did see a few of them out and about with different samples.
Yeah.
And I know when we went in, it was quite busy in there.
Yeah, we were solid for most of the day, and I think it dived off about 4:30, 5 o'clock-ish, and that was when it started to dwindle, so it was a very, very solid day.
George, what is the difference between a barista and a barista maestro?
Right, the main difference is the fact that a barista comes in, okay, and is basically trained in-house by the barista maestro. So the maestro is responsible for all in-house coffee training. It's also responsible to ensure that those standards are maintained throughout the store, okay, and that if something isn't right, they jump in and stop it from happening, because at the end of the day, it's all making sure you have the perfect coffee break. So when somebody comes in new, okay, we train them as a barista.
Yep.
So we train them on how to texture milk, steam milk, froth milk, the importance of coffee, okay, and how that we can put all these things together, and how different techniques and textures and bits and bobs can create different flavours to the coffee in different coffees. So that's how we all start it. And also the barista maestro is responsible for ensuring can open the shop, can close the shop, and can make sure that everything that is involving customers, make sure that goes all right. So like I say, making sure that all the food's stored correctly, basically responsible for general health and safety whilst they're in charge of running the shift, so that you have your perfect coffee break and that everything maintains and goes through smoothly.
That's brilliant. How long do you actually take to train to be a barista maestro?
Right, well, to train a barista, you can come in at the store and you get about 3 months training. So, okay, it's a very intense chunk of coffee training, because there's a lot to cover. There's not only just your normal hot coffees, there's your cold coffees, your ice cold Costa ranges, like I say, the new range with all the new drinks, there's the coolers, there's also the preparation of the food. So there's a lot to get in within 3 months. Once you've then been a barista, if you wish to progress within the company, your next stage is your barista maestro. So that's more like a team leader stage. If you want to stay as a barista, you can stay as a barista as long, but you've got to show willing as well. So it's like your speed's there, your drinks are going out correct to branch standards, so that everything works properly. Then what happens is you go to an academy, and you as a barista have your coffee skills put under the test. Okay, so I went to Leeds, and you make a cappuccino, a latte, an espresso, and at that time you made a flat white. And at the time when I did it, you could either pass or fail it. So there was a big margin. People think it's just coffee. It's not just coffee anymore. When you can go and actually pass and fail on an exam, and once you get that, you give training on how to train. So you look at different perspectives, what you're looking for as the trainer, and how to train, and motivational techniques and bits and bobs. And then once that is, like I say, you go to the course, and then you develop in store, and then just carry on with the role.
So it's quite an intense
yeah, it is, and it does go wrong. People do make a mess up of things, but at the end of the day, we deal with it. Like I say, everybody's not perfect and bits and bobs, okay? People make mistakes. I still have days where I can't make lattes to save my life. But everybody has bad days, and you just come on through it, and like I say, you just correct it, and you learn to know how to correct it without compacting on the customer's side of the point.
You last year,
Yes.
you were in a championship?
Yes, we every year we hold a competition, internal competition through the company called Barista of the Year. Okay, so you start off within your store, and you all compete against each other, or you nominate yourself to go forward. You then go in areas. So as an area, we went to Kings Lynn. So there was myself from Kings Lynn, there was a couple of guys from Boston, and all other stores like locally. You then compete in your area. So like that was the East Anglia area.
Yeah.
You go against your other stores. Okay, so for that one we had to do a single espresso, latte, cappuccino, and a flat white. Those people there scrutinising your coffee again, so asking you questions about how to do this and how to do that. You then give a quick blurb and why you should be Barista of the Year. And the winner of that then goes through to the regionals. Okay, so this year I won it, or last year even. I got an all expenses paid. The company pay your expenses to go. So we went to. I could take one person with me. So me and Sharon, my boss, we went to London because that's where the regionals are held at the roastery, and the roastery is where all of our coffee comes from. So as soon as the coffee comes in, it goes to London. It gets roasted to our unique Mocha Italia blend, and then from that single roastery in London, it distributes to every single store. So we only have one roastery, and it's roasting 24 hours a day. And as you walk up the street to the roastery, you can smell the coffee.
Well, that must actually be very, very nice to
It is very, very nice. Once you've done there, what you had to do for the regionals, again, you have, you then meet all the area finalists. You then have to do a grind and dose check, which is something you don't have to do at the area level. Now, this grind and dose is something that's completed in every single Costa 3 times a day, because humidity, temperature, pressure, how hot the blades are in the grinder, and how busy you are all affect how the coffee runs. If the coffee runs too fast, it doesn't extract it properly and don't get the full flavour to it. If it's extracted too long, it ends up being burnt and bitter and doesn't taste very nice. So it's a very delicate balance in the middle. So we calibrate our grinders 3 times a day. And what happens is when you go to the regionals, somebody kindly messes one up entirely for you, and you then have to show that you can bring it back into calibration. You then want to have 10 minutes to do that, and then you have 10 minutes to make your drinks, okay? But sometimes I struggled, and literally it was a right mess, and everybody was cheering me on, going, you can do it, and next thing you know, it was like, all of a sudden I got it, and I was just short of making one of my drinks. As I was pouring my last drink, the buzzer went off. So I did make all my drinks, but for that one you had to make 2 of each to show consistency.
Yeah.
And then what you had to do is you had to design your own drink. So you had to create something, and it had to be around the Mocha Italia blend, so you can create and try different flavours and bits and bobs. And my one was a strawberry and cream mocha.
Ooh. Ooh, Joe.
Yes,
Did that just get your attention?
that did.
I thought it might do.
So what
that does actually sound very, very nice.
What we did, for a small, when we based it in a small, we added our strawberry puree. We used Costa hot chocolate. We poured 2 shots of coffee, so like a double espresso over the top of it. We then mixed up a canister of chocolate cream, so not just normal cream, chocolate cream. Drizzled it on top, and then we had a drizzle of dark chocolate sauce. Served it with a fan of strawberries, and then a cappuccino chocolate, and then just a normal chocolate as well.
I really quite like the idea of that. Do any of the ideas that you actually put in ever actually become coffees for the store?
I know that, like I say, there's bits and bobs, and I know they sometimes go to development stage. They get taken to development and they get looked at. So it's not necessarily, like I say, mine. If I was to roll that out throughout the company, we wouldn't be able to serve it with the strawberries and the chocolates, because it's where do you draw the line between practicality from our point of view, because everybody likes to have a quick coffee, nice and fast, great speed at service with a smile.
Yeah.
And you've got to find that delicate balance in between where you can still deliver great coffee at speed but without compacting on the queue.
Yeah. What is the difference between the different coffees, such as your cappuccinos, lattes, mochas?
Okay, so to clarify, because we have a lot of people just come in and go, I just want coffee. They take one look at the menu board and you can see them phased by all these different names, and it's not too hard to understand once you know. Okay, so your Americano can either be black or white, okay, and it's basically, that is just your bog standard filter coffee, okay. So if you just want a normal coffee, Americano is where you're heading, okay. Difference between a latte and a cappuccino. A latte is an all milk coffee, okay, and should only have about a centimetre froth on top, okay, and is generally weaker than any other coffee. So for a latte you have 1 shot in a small for Costa, 2 shots in for a medium and 3 in a large, okay. Everything else is based around 2 shots in a small, 3 shots in a medium, 4 shots in a large. So it's a case of it is that all milk, weaker coffee, okay. Cappuccino should be a third coffee, third milk and a third milk froth, okay, so it is generally the frothier one, okay, and it either comes with cinnamon sprinkles on top or chocolate on top, or some people do just tend to have it without any. A mocha is basically a chocolate version of a cappuccino, okay, so again you have your third coffee at the bottom, third chocolate milk and a third chocolate froth on top. The mocha latte is a new one that's been recently launched. It's chosen really popular. Again, as the name suggests, it's like a mocha latte, okay, so it's like a latte.
Yep.
So it's rather than it being all normal milk, it's chocolate milk, okay, and it has the same shots as a latte. So 1 in a small, 2 in a medium, 3 in a large. Again, it's still that slightly milkier, chocolatey coffee with just a hint of coffee. The flat white originates across from Australia. That's where if you go out to Australia and you ask for a coffee, a flat white is what you get, okay, and this one has a triple shot, and it only comes in a small, okay. But the way we extract the coffee, a triple shot should run for about 30 seconds. With a flat white, it only runs for 15. Okay, so you get the sweet part of the coffee. Okay, we combine it with textured milk, so it's not steamed, it's not frothed, it's textured. So we get little micro bubbles in it, and it goes round the jug and coats the jug. And when you drink it, it should be like liquid ice cream. Okay, it should be warm and creamy with that like coffee taste afterwards. Okay, and it shouldn't be bitter. You should literally be able to drink it, and it should be so smooth and rich. Okay. That only comes in a small size, okay. Then you have like your classics, was what you call. So you have your double espresso for the person that wants that quick morning intense coffee kick. You have a macchiato, which is like a double espresso or a single again, a blob of froth. Okay. There's also espresso con panna, which is a double espresso with cream on top. Okay. And then also there's a ristretto, which is again a short part of coffee, a bit like the flat white shot. Okay, but it's only very short for that intense quick pickup. We also have a mocha cortado and a cortado. These originate across from like Spain, okay? So they're served in a very, very tiny glass, okay? And that has 2 shots of coffee in it. 2 shots we run for about 20 seconds usually. Again, it only has 10 seconds run through, so it only gets the sweet part of the coffee. And again, it's the same as flat white milk, so it's textured milk. So again, it's that short, intense, creamy coffee, okay? For somebody that wants a quick pick you up, but not the strength of a double espresso. We then have your iced Costa range, okay, so we have like, of course we have hot chocolate as well throughout the year. For the iced coffees, you have your iced lattes, your iced cappuccinos, so it's basically your same classic drinks, but in a cold format. We also have then your coolers, so we have the Belgian chocolate cooler, toffee cooler, a new one launched, the raspberry and white one, which is absolutely to die for. Me and Toki yesterday decided to have one because the weather was so nice, and we just thought, yeah, we're going to have one, so we had a raspberry and white one yesterday. We've also then got the fruit cooler, so we've got the mango one, red berry, tropical, and then also orange and raspberry.
I have to admit the red berry and the tropical are absolutely delicious. And I have also had the strawberry. Oh,
lemonades as well. We've also got strawberry coolers. We also have a lemonade range. So at the minute we've got original lemonade, so it's like a still lemonade, so it's a bit like American lemonade. We've got strawberry lemonade, raspberry and cranberry lemonade, and peach lemonade as well. So we're not just coffee, we're there for everybody, okay? So if you like coffee, if you don't like coffee, there's something to suit everybody.
I was always taught because we used to have a coffee machine where I worked.
Right.
The way they always taught us to remember between latte and cappuccino was shorter the name, the more milk.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And because cappuccino is a longer name, it was more froth than it was milk.
Yeah, definitely so. Like I say, it should always be about a third. And people as well, you can customise your drinks at Costa, okay? So rather than just going into somewhere and having a latte and then going, oh, I don't like it, because it's too strong, we'll have less coffee in it then. If you wanted like half a shot, Costa can do that for you. If you want a dry cappuccino, now people look at me when they go, a dry cappuccino, how can you make a dry cappuccino? If you ask for something dry, it means you want more froth, okay, so there's more to sit and scoop. If you want a wet cappuccino, you want less froth, okay, so you can have a wet latte, so it's got virtually no froth in it at all, and it's just things like that, so you can customise your drinks entirely. There's no coffee, each coffee can be individually made in Costa. Because it's fresh and it's literally made to your standard, you can have it however you want it.
Because you can add extra flavours as well, can't you, to each coffee?
We have cinnamon, hazelnut, caramel, vanilla. We've got blackberry, we've got creme brulee, praline, mint, honeycomb. The list is endless, literally. There's no end of syrups what you can customise. And it can go in anything, like in hot chocolate. Caramel hot chocolate is like Cadbury's caramel, just in liquid format. It's so nice. And then, like I say, the mint hot chocolate, even though these are more Christmassy drinks, we've still got the syrups all year round and we can still make them. As long as we have the syrups and the stock in store, we can do that for you.
It's brilliant. Thank you very, very much, George, for today. It's been absolutely fascinating.
Thank you for having me. I've just got to give a big shout out to the guys at Sleaford, that's how I'm going to get told off.
They've got you...
got me planned and trained.
and ready where to go.
The morning coffee break, brought to you with Costa Coffee. Call in at Costa and try one of our new exciting summer drinks.